Good morning, everyone. My name is Stephen Stark, and I'm a musician and a fellow composer and songwriter that lives in Oklahoma City. And I want to thank everyone for having me today, in particular Jamie for his wonderful teaching. And I want to thank John Ferguson and the Yes Academy for composers from Kurdistan and Iraq. Thank you so much. It is absolutely my privilege to get to listen to this wonderful music. I want to thank the performers. These musicians are amazing, and I'm sure all the composers here appreciate the level of work and the level of musicianship that has gone into the performance of these pieces. And mostly I want to thank the composers, because I know as a composer myself that you are putting so much thought and feeling into every note as you write, and I feel that thought and that feeling as I listen to your pieces. So thank you so much. As I announce 2 honorable mentions and 2 winners, a second and first prize, I want you to keep in mind that I'm not necessarily saying these are the pieces of the highest quality. I believe that all of the pieces were of high quality. But I did have certain criteria that I was listening for today, and I'll explain that just very briefly. I was mostly listening for creativity. How do I define creativity? It's how much variation you can put into a piece while still maintaining unity and direction. And all of these pieces had that, okay? But these were the ones that really stood out to me after listening for several times. I was also listening to pieces that I thought would translate well to an audience. Not just any audience, but an audience that's really listening, that's really paying attention, a captive audience. So those were the 2 main criteria I was, the lens, if you might say, through which I was watching your pieces today. So without further ado, I will announce the honorable mentions first. So the first honorable mention goes to a piece that I thought took a melodic idea and just kind of did everything with it. It felt like the composer was really exploring what the instrument can do, and I thought that was entertaining. And this piece is Flying by Rizwan Taha. I apologize, I should have said this in advance, but I apologize if I mispronounce anyone's name. You are more than welcome to mispronounce my name in revenge, right? You can call me Stevan instead of Stephen, and that's perfectly fine. Actually, I kind of like Stevan. You can call me that if you like. Maybe I'll change my name. So once again, congratulations to our first honorable mention, Flying by Rizwan Taha. The next honorable mention goes to a piece that I thought just had a really creative use of a rhythmic element. It was really consistent throughout the whole piece, and I felt it really tied the piece together. But it also had moments of intensity that built up, and then it would wind back down. It was just a really lovely piece with also a very consistent harmonic language, which I thought worked. And this piece is Broken by Halo Garib. So thank you for that excellent piece. So now we will get into the second prize followed by the first prize. Again, it almost pains my heart a little bit to announce these because I'm thinking of all the other pieces that were so wonderful, but it was my job to pick, so that's what I did. It's a hard job, but also a wonderful job because I got to hear so much great music. So second place goes to a piece that I thought had a very clear arc to the opening section. It had an idea that it was easy to hear, and then it built up, so it had a great sense of direction. Then it had kind of a brief variation in a B section, and then it came back to the original idea. And I thought that ABA form came across very well. I think an audience would pick that up easily. And again, the melodic elements were easy to discern. So this piece, the second place prize, goes to Inevitable Fate by Niaz Mustafa. Now, the first place piece. This piece really came across to me very directly, and I just really thought it was easy to pick out what the composer was doing, which I loved. There was a wonderful melodic strain right at the beginning. Again, creative, but I think very easy to hear to the listener. And then there's just a really nice development of the idea. Now, this piece managed to have actually several melodic strains and ideas throughout it, despite it being very short. And yet, the piece held together. I thought it came across as a coherent piece, despite 3 or 4 different elements that were kind of intermingling throughout. And then the ending kind of caught me off guard in a wonderful way, which I like too. So this piece is the first place, drum roll. I don't have a drum, so I'll just have to use my hands on my legs here. The first place goes to World by Hussein Ali. Congratulations to all the composers and all the musicians and all the teachers and all the organizers, because our ultimate goal is just to create music into the air and into the ears of the listener and to all of us. And you all have just done wonderful work. And I, again, thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of it in my small way. So have a wonderful day. Goodbye.